Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Mommy Loves to Read. I'm Olivia and thank you for joining me today. So, I know it has been forever and a day since I made a video. I think the last time I made a video was like mid-September, end of September. I told you guys what my TBR was gonna be and then that was it. So life has been lifing and I have just been really busy with my kids and stuff like that, so I haven't found the time to make a video. But today they are napping and so I have found some time to make a video. So I'm gonna just do a quick video. This is gonna be an update for me to kind of tell you guys what I've been up to, what I've been reading, and then I'm gonna do a small little book haul. I think I have like 6 books that I have recently gotten. 4 of them were given to me and then 2 of them I bought myself. And so I'm just going to tell you guys about that. So we'll kind of start with the update. So like I said, for those of you that are new or if you've been watching my channel, I'm Olivia. And the last time I made a video, like I said, was September. I told you guys about my TBR. I don't exactly remember the books I had on my TBR, but long story short, for September, I read 1 book, and that was Black Girls Must Die Exhausted, and it was a really good book. I really loved it. If you read that book, let me know what you think, because I loved it, but the ending like threw me for a loop. I was kind of like, what? But I did see recently, maybe like a couple of weeks ago, that the author is coming out with another book. So I think that's kind of why the other book ended like it did, because she is writing a sequel. So I am really excited to get my hands on that. So yes, and then for the month, so that was September. For the month of October, I did not make a video, but I did read. So I'm gonna let you guys know some of the books I read in October. All the books I read in October were library books. Yes, all of them were library books. So I will just insert pictures as I'm talking about them. And the first book that I read in October was by Sister Souljah. If you guys have been watching my videos, I read a book by her in August and I fell in love with it. And so I immediately went on my library website and put as many books as my library had by her on hold. And one of my holds came through. And so I read A Moment in Silence by her. And that book, just like the other one I read from her, was amazing. It's just full of so many gems. The one thing that I like about her is her books, they're so packed full of stuff. The whole time you're reading it, it's as if you're watching a movie. Like I feel like I have a movie screen just playing like across my brain as I'm reading it. And her books are the kind of books like you pick them up and once you pick it up, you're like, I cannot put this down. I'm the kind of person where I normally am not just reading one book at a time. I'm reading multiple books. But it's like when I pick up one of her books, all the other books I'm reading at that moment are like pushed to the side. And I'm like, I have to finish this book. And then when you do finish her books, you're literally like, why did it end? Like her books are just like, you could keep reading and reading and reading and you will never get tired. So if you guys have not read a book by Sister Souljah, go ahead and pick it up. Go on down to your library, your local bookstore, wherever you get your books, and get one. I promise you it will not disappoint. And then the other 2 books that I read in October, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to think of it from my memory. I forgot to look at my Goodreads before I started. I know I read, like I said, the one by Sister Souljah. And then, what was the other book I read in October? It was really good too, but for some reason I can't remember. Oh, I did a reread of Girl Get Your Money Straight. So I read that book in January and that book is really good. It's about getting your money straight, and she kind of has like a holistic approach to it, which I really like. And I just have some financial goals that I wanted to hit this year, and with this year coming to an end, I wanted to do a quick reread just to make sure I was on track with my reading goals. Yeah. Okay guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. My kids were at the door. But yes, like I was saying, I reread Girl Get Your Money Straight just because I had some financial goals that I was working on for this year. And with it being like the end of the year, I just kind of wanted to reread and get my mind back on track for those financial goals. And then the next book that I read in the month of October was A Blade So Black, and that book was really good too. It's kind of like a retelling of Alice in Wonderland in like modern day, and that book is just like really good if you're looking for a good action-packed kind of fun book. Go ahead and check that out. I cannot remember the author's name right off the top of my head, but like I said, I will put a picture, because all the books that I read this month, except the Girl Get Your Money Straight, were library books. Well, that I read last month, so I've already turned them in. And then the last book that I read for the month of October was Red at the Bone by Jacqueline Woodson. And you guys, that book was just amazing. I would say my two favorite books of last month was the one by Sister Souljah and this one, Red at the Bone. Like, I don't know how Jacqueline Woodson does it, but her books, she manages to pack so much goodness in a little book. That book was only 208 pages. I read it in like 2 days. I got it from my library on Friday and I was done with it by Sunday. And like I said, she just packs so much goodness into the book. It's like when you pick it up, you cannot put it down. You just have to keep reading and keep reading and keep reading to figure out what's going to happen. So if you guys have not read that book, please go check it out. It's a really good book and it will not disappoint. Yes, baby. Okay, guys, I am back once again. Sorry for all the interruptions. Like I said, life has been lifing, and this is life for me. I have 3 littles that are 4 and under. So you know, they're busy. But like I was saying, the book by Jacqueline Woodson was amazing, just like her other book that I read. And like I said, I don't know how, but she manages just to pack it all into such a short read that it's like, you're like, it's over already? Why? Like, I could have kept reading. And like I said, her book was just amazing. So if you have not read that book, go ahead and read it, because it won't disappoint and you will not be sad that you read it. And like I said, it's a really short book. I was able to read it in about 2 days. So if you have like afternoon where you have maybe like 3 or 4 hours, I'm sure you could knock it out in 1 day, because it's a short read, but it's a good read. So yes, those are the books that I read last month. And now we're going to move on to the second part of this video, which is going to be a book haul. So like I said, I have 2 books that I actually purchased just on my own, and then I have the rest of the books for books that were gifted to me. I was a part of a book swap on Instagram, and so the person that I swapped with gave me all these books. And I thought it was really cool too, because the person that I swapped with, I don't know them aside from just, you know, looking at each other's pictures on Instagram and things like that. And it was like perfect alignment who I got paired with, because all the books she gave me were books that I would have personally bought myself. And so I was really glad to get my hands on them. And so yes, I'm glad to share these with you and kind of tell you guys what I think. Only one of the books have I read. So that's the only one I can really tell you anything about. But the other books I'm really excited to get into. So the first book that I bought is going to be a children's book. This is the book, the Soleil book by Lupita Nyong'o. I feel like I always say her last name wrong, but Nyong'o, I think that's how you say it. And this book is really, really good. If you guys have not picked this up for your kids, or even like your kids in your life, this book would be really good, especially for the holidays coming up. In this book, you're following a little girl, and her name is Soleil, and she's kind of struggling because she doesn't look like anyone in her family. She's really dark, and all the people around her, pretty much like the kids, are very negative, and they're always calling her names and not really befriending her. And her sister is opposite. She's light skinned, and everyone kind of just loves her and dotes on her. And you're kind of following Soleil on this journey of her feeling like the only way she can be accepted and have friends is to look like her sister. But she learns a really important lesson throughout this book that, one, beauty is not only on the outside. So you can't put all your trust in believing that you're beautiful just because of what other people say or how other people perceive you. Like, your beauty is what's on the inside just as much as what's on the outside. And you don't have to change anything about you. No matter what color you are, no matter what size you are, no matter how you look, you're beautiful just because you're you, and the world needs you just the way you are. Not changed, not made to fit this mold or this image, but just to fit who you are. And like I said, this book is really good. We bought this book on a Sunday, and me and my kids, I read books to them every night, and literally every night for like a week and a half, my kids pulled this book for us to read. I normally let each one of them pick a book. I have 3 kids, and literally, like I said, every night for a week, my daughter chose this book. I think we read it one night, even twice. And she's 4, and she really loved this book. And this book was a really good book just to talk about differences and things like that with her. So if you're looking for a book that's going to open up the door for you to talk about differences and kids, this is a really, really great book, and it's really cute too. So yes, go ahead and check Soulway out. Okay guys, and the next book that I hauled is going to be a book by Sister Souljah, and this one is called Midnight, A Gangster Love Story. Like I said, I read one book by her, which is The Coldest Winter Ever, back in August, fell in love with it, got on my library website and literally put every book that they had by her on hold, and I read A Moment in Silence, and this was the one book that my library did not have. So I had some points on thrift books. I had credit to get one free book, and so this book cost the amount that my credit did, and so I went ahead and got this book for free, and I'm really excited. I started on it today. I'm only on the second page, but I mean, even the second page, the first 2 pages have been so good. Like, the book starts out and it's just like boom, and it like wraps you up and you're like, I gotta keep reading, I gotta keep reading. So this book I will definitely finish this month and let you guys know how I feel about it. I already know I'm gonna love it because I loved all her other books, but man, like, I'm telling you guys, I know I'm like doing a Sister Souljah plug or something, but if you have not read her books, just go pick them up. You're gonna love them. And like I said, her books are one of those books where I feel like I'm going to go out and buy her other books because they're books that you can read and read and read over again. And I feel like every time you read them, you're gonna catch a new snippet or catch something new that you didn't read the first time, and it's gonna speak to you in a different way. Everyone that I talked to that has read her books, the friend that actually got me into reading her books, that recommended, she was telling me that like she's had these books for years and years, and every time she reads them, like in a different season of her life, they speak to her in a different way. And so I feel like that's how you really know it's a good book. So yes, this is a book that I hauled, and I'm really excited that I was able to get my hands on it. And then the next book is this book is called Miss by Caitlin Macy. Like I said, this book was gifted to me in a book swap I was in, so I know nothing about this book, and I don't even know anything about this author. But I love the cover. It looks really interesting, and I'm really, really excited to get into this book. So if you have read this book or know anything about this author, comment down below and let me know. Kind of give me let me know what I'm in for. So yes. And then the next book that I got from that book swap is called Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. It looks really interesting. I'm assuming this is probably like a young adult book. And so, like I said, I'm really excited to get into it. I don't know anything about this book either, but I know it's going to be good. So yes. And the next book I got from this book haul is called The Breakdown by B.A. Paris, which once again, I know nothing about, but I'm really excited to get into this book because I feel like it's going to be good. Like I said, the person who I swap with, I feel like we have the exact same taste in books when we were talking. Like, we like the same type of books and we dislike the same type of books. So I know I'm going to like these books, you know? I just don't know anything about them. And then the last thing that I got from that book swap, which is probably like my most exciting book that I was mostly excited about, is this book by Ta-Nehisi Coates, The Water Dancer. And it was really funny when I opened the box that the book came in. I was in my living room and I started jumping up and down screaming, and I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And my husband was like, what is wrong? And I saw this book on top first, and I was so excited because I had my eye on this book and I was actually planning on purchasing this book. And so I was really glad that I hadn't purchased it yet, because when I saw this in there, I was like, yes, I'm so excited. So I think out of all the books that I got from that book swap, I'm going to go ahead and start on this book, and I plan on trying to read it this month. My goal is, I don't plan on putting any more books on hold at my library as of yet, unless one really pops up. And I want to get through all these books that I have showed you guys today before the end of the year, which I think I will be able to. So yes, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I know this video was all over the place and it might be a little choppy when I upload it because my kids kept interrupting me, but we're gonna upload it anyway because I really wanted to talk to you guys and share that haul with you guys. So guys, let me know what you have been up to, what you have been reading since, what you read in the month of October, what your November TBRs are looking like, maybe even some of the books that you have on your Christmas list. And yes, once again, thank you guys for joining me. And until next time, bye and happy reading.